My guest today is Pascal Jaillon, who leads the developer program at the startup Magnet. Pascal, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So Pascal, would you tell us a bit about the startup Magnet?
Yeah, so Magnet offers a suite of products for developers to build great mobile applications, apps that take full advantage of all the powers of those mini computers that we now carry in our pockets.
Yes, good. So what Google developer products do you work with?
So we developed for Android, obviously, and we use all the tools that Google can provide, from the many SDKs, all the versions, the IDEs, the emulators, everything. Nowadays, developers don't really drive or have anything to say about the version or the platform that the users will use for the mobile applications. So at Magnet, we make sure we can develop apps for all those devices in the nature.
Mm. So I haven't heard you say the word platform yet, but I suspect that the word will come up. And I'm a developer, and I think many developers with me get a bit nervous when we hear the word platform, because it entails going to a new code base. You don't know the weaknesses and strengths of this new platform. It's a bit scary, honestly, for a developer to go with something completely new. How do you address those concerns from developers?
Yeah, well, totally. Developers want to try it first, right? So the bigger the platform you're building, the more actually you have to cut that into pieces, into components that can be actually tried and used independently from each other. So that's exactly what we did at Magnet. We are addressing different pain points that developers have, from connectivity to real-time messaging to remote persistence, and each of those pain points is addressed through a different product.
So a developer can dip their toe in and use one or two of these without going whole hog with your platform.
That's right, and it's very important that they can try it, play with it. For typically our new messaging solution, we are hosting a version in the cloud, so they can just use it and see how it works before they can decide to adopt it in their own product.
Building a good developer experience is hard. I mean, we try to do it here at Google, and you're doing it as well. It must have taken a lot of iterations before you had something that was ready to ship, I'm guessing.
Absolutely, and it was very important for us to understand how developers actually work, how they use how they develop their mobile application. So you need to understand closely the way they work to build your product that actually address their pain points. So focusing on a key pain point is important, and then in the case of REST to mobile, the first product that addresses the connectivity, we realized to keep the developers in the flow, it was better to actually build a plugin for their IDEs, as opposed to perhaps some competitive solutions where you're using like the web browser to download the full SDK. We wanted to do that within their IDEs to keep the developers inside their IDEs, where they are productive and doing all their coding.
You mentioned IDEs. Developers use many different IDEs on Android. How did you deal with that?
All right. So also we wanted to make sure that they had the same experience across multiple IDEs, also on iOS, on Xcode. So we ended up doing a lot of work, more work than we intended first, but we built IDEs for, we picked Google Android Studio because that's the official pick by Google. And we had, as a bonus, we got that to work with IntelliJ because it's the same code base. But we also built a command line tool for automation and for developers who are not in the IDE, and we built another plugin for Xcode. So yeah, it was more work on our side, but all good.
And one for Eclipse?
You can use Eclipse, but we don't have a full plugin for Eclipse. But our actually command line tools help developers who are in Eclipse to generate the code in their mobile applications.
I see. So where are you seeing the most Android developer interest? Are people moving to Android Studio? Are they still on Eclipse?
Yeah, we see the switch happening toward Android Studio. It's a great IDE. It works really well. The experience is great. They get a lot of the feedback and the work that was done with IntelliJ IDEA. So that's definitely a great place to start building Android applications.
When I download this plugin from Magnet and install it in my IDE, what happens then? How does it help me as a developer?
So we want, with this first product, again, REST to mobile, we want to help developers build their connected apps, to connect their mobile apps to REST APIs, to REST services. It's a little bit complicated. You have to deal with remote connection to a server. You have to deal with JSON payloads. So our plugin,
network, anything on the network, it can
that's
time
right,
out
exceptions,
and
exactly. Working with some offline capabilities. So we wanted to offer those capabilities out of the box with the plugin. So we do code generation, and I know that code generation sometimes has a bad reputation. So we make sure.
Code generation. When I hear that, I get suspicious. It'll be code I can't touch, magic code that if I touch it, it'll break. I can't easily regenerate it.
Yeah, and we wanted to make sure that that was not a concern for the developers. So we generated the best code we could, make sure that the code that ends up being in your mobile apps is as good as what you would have done by yourself if that were written by hand. But we take all the burdens out of your hands. We create this code for you, make sure that it's unit test friendly. It comes with unit test. It's refactoring friendly, something that the app won't be compiled just once. There is a full life cycle, so being able to refactor, to make changes, that was super important, and we addressed that with our plugin.
I see. So when building for the Android ecosystem, what lessons have you learned, and what experience would you like to share with other startups in a similar position to you guys?
So definitely Android is more open than iOS on the Apple side. So that's good because there are more documents, more documentation. It's a bit easier for us to build these kind of plugins. At the same time, there are multiple IDEs, as you said earlier. So we had to address different platforms, different IDEs, and build on for different code base. It was not the case on the Xcode side when we built the plugin for Xcode, but at the same time we had much less documentation. So we had to look at other, like a GitHub project, and work with other projects to understand how to do that, to offer the same experience for all the mobile developers.
Great. Well, thank you for coming in here, Pascal, and sharing your experiences with us and our viewers.
Thanks for having me.
We hope you found something you can use in your startup. Your input matters. Please leave your comments below. We read everything you write. To learn how Google can help your startup, go to developers.google.com/startups. If you would like to be a guest on the show, go to bit.ly/apply root access. That's it for now. See you next time.